Okay, well, we're getting ready to meditate on the LamRim. I'd like to read the prayer list. Prayers for happy rebirth. All those killed by natural and man made disasters. All the Tibetans have been killed or have taken their own lives in the struggle for religious freedom. Geshe Sopa Rinpoche, Robin Bongiorno, Dr. Diane Kelson, Sally Comer, James Foley, Wendy Johnson, Shyamali Mitra, Stephen Sotloff, Miss Kitty the cat, Scooter the dog. Job search, Roseanne Barona, John Carroll, Joey Cooch, Joe Griffiths, Jim Kay, Michelle Matich, Robert Palermo, Mark Pristop, Alex Schwartz, Greg Weaver, Sandy Wimbish. Prayers for health and well-being, Kyabje Lama Zopa Rinpoche, Venerable Margaret McAndrew, Venerable Turkey Lamo, Venerable Losang Tsering, all those harmed by natural and man-made disasters. For the Tibetan people and for the Chinese authorities, may the nonviolent path lead to full reconciliation and religious freedom. Roger and Barb Alexander, Russell Allen, Ahmed Alcacer, Mrs. Askew, Lisa Baranski, Jim Barnes, Luz Barona, Narcissus Barona Sr., Roseanne Barona, Kitty Burke, John Carroll, Julie Castillo, Jack Dallaso, Dion Dietzler Chusano and her children, Dimitri Diamandopoulos, Suzanne Diamandopoulos, Andrew Flaherty, Jimmy Gooch and family, Mildred Gooch, Robert Gruber, Tracy Haas Thompson, Annie Hassel, Kathy Hayashi, Francis Hayashi, Travis Henley, Leslie and Joan Inman, Nick Jablins, family of Wendy Johnson, Kenny Jackson Buddy, Helen Kasanoff, Nina Kowalski, Mary Lojek, Danny Love, Tom Lynch, RM, Tom McGinnity, Scotty McLean, Sarah Miller, Colleen Mitchell, Jose Moreno, Ribera Nielsen, Reba Gail Saunders, family of Shyamali Mitra, Evan Myrtle and family, William Oliver, Jay Pandya, Anna Papard and her many cousins throughout the Ukraine, Mary Mark Pristop, Ken Roman, Eileen Rubin and family, Ariana Scott, Rosemary Cease, Sarai, Basil Shute, Nancy Sorbit, Freddie Todd, Lobsound Tupton, Bob Utzman, Fran Van Kirk, Dion Washington, Jessica Whitmore, Shay Wokowicki, Bodie the cat, Carmen the dog, George and Cadra the pigs, Grady the dog. Okay, so if you take out white prayer book, let's start with a refuge and bodhicitta prayer. Down at the bottom of the first base sheet, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create through listening to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. And then, and then at the top of the page, the four measurables. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. And then flip over to the back of this same sheet, and at the top there's the 7-limb prayer. So let's recite that. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering, actual and imagined. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time and rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. And then if you don't know the Miksema, the praise to Lama Tsongkhapa, it's on the towards the bottom of the pink sheet. So let's just recite those, 3 of those to ourselves. Mi me tse we ter chen chen de zik dui me kiem pe wang po jam pe yang gan chen ke pe tsu gen song kapa lo sang ja pe shabla so. Thank you. And now if you just relax, I'll read again the benefits of this practice. According to Lama Zopa Rinpoche, I regard as the most important thing in the world anybody who dedicates his or her life for achieving LamRim realizations with the goal to liberate numberless beings from the oceans of samsaric suffering and bring them to enlightenment. Keep the mind in LamRim, Guru devotion, renunciation of samsara, and bodhicitta. These things help you to not commit negative karma again. Every day, meditate on the LamRim and keep it in your mind, even during break times from sitting meditation. And this is according to Geshe-la. Reciting the LamRim outline is superior to saying millions of mantras, to having clairvoyance or seeing deities. Review meditations, leave imprints of the LamRim on your mind stream like footprints in the sand. Make many footprints in the sand. This is how you increase the chance to meet Lama Tsongkhapa's teachings in your next life. The footprints will stay a long time, whether the footprints is good or bad. So if you haven't gotten into your meditation posture, if you'll do that, all you have to do is keep your back straight. And let's set our motivation for reading the LamRim outline. By reviewing each word of this LamRim outline, may all sentient beings realize the whole path to enlightenment. May each word of this LamRim outline subdue our minds immediately. May the whole path to enlightenment be generated in the minds of all sentient beings. So today's topic is karma. Training the mind and the stages of the path shared with persons of small capacity has 3 parts. The actual training of thought for a person of small capacity. the measure of the attitude of a person of small capacity, clearing up misconceptions concerning the attitude of a person of small capacity. The actual training of thought for a person of small capacity has two parts: developing a state of mind that strives diligently for the sake of future lives, relying on the means for achieving happiness in the next life. Relying on the means for achieving happiness in the next life has two parts: training and going refuge, the excellent door for entering the teaching, developing the faith of conviction that is the root of all temporary happiness and certain goodness. Developing the faith of conviction that is the root of all temporary happiness and certain goodness has three parts: reflecting on karma and its effects in general, reflecting on karma and its effects in detail, how you engage in virtue and turn away from non-virtue after you have reflected on karma and its effects in general and in detail. Reflecting on karma and its effects in general has two parts: the actual way in which to reflect in general, reflecting on the distinctions among the varieties of karma. The actual way in which to reflect in general has four parts: the certainty of karma, the magnification of karma, not experiencing the effects of actions that you did not do, the actions you have done do not perish. Reflecting on the distinctions among the varieties of karma has two parts: the principal teaching of the 10 paths of action, the determination of the effects of actions. The determination of the effects of actions has three parts: non-virtuous actions and their effects, virtuous actions and their effects, a presentation of other classifications of karma. Non-virtuous actions and their effects has three parts: the actual paths of non-virtuous actions, distinctions of weight, and exposition of the effects. Distinctions of weight has two parts: the weights of the 10 paths of non-virtuous action, a brief discussion of the criteria for powerful actions. A brief discussion of the criteria for powerful actions has four parts: strength in terms of recipient, strength in terms of support, strength in terms of objects, strength in terms of attitude. An exposition of the effects has three parts: fruitional effects, causally concordant effects, environmental effects. Virtuous actions and their effects has two parts: virtuous actions, the effects of virtuous actions. The effects of virtuous actions has three parts: fruitional effects, causally concordant effects, environmental effects. A presentation of other classifications of karma has two parts: the distinction between projecting and completing karma, karma whose result you will definitely or only possibly experience. Reflecting on karma and its effects in detail has three parts: the attributes of the fruitions, the effects of the fruitions, the causes of the fruitions. The attributes of the fruitions has 8 parts: consummate lifespan, consummate color, consummate lineage, consummate power, trustworthy words, renown as a great power, being a male, having strength. How you engage in virtue and turn away from non-virtue after you have reflected on karma and its effects in general and in detail has two parts. A general explanation. In particular, the way of purification through the four powers. In particular, the way of purification through the four powers has four parts. The power of eradication, the power of applying remedies, the power of turning away from faults, the power of the foundation. The power of applying remedies has 6 parts. Reciting the profound sutras, meditating on emptiness, dependence on mantra, making holy objects, dependence on worship, dependence on names. Meditation on Karma, from Steps on the Path to Enlightenment by Geshe Sopa Rinpoche. The human mind has countless thoughts, and out of those thoughts arise countless actions. The Buddha condensed all actions into 10 general categories. These he taught as the 10 virtues to be cultivated, or the 10 non-virtues to be abandoned. The Buddha focused on these 10 powerful negative karmas as a compassionate and skillful method to teach his disciples. Saying there are only 10 negative actions to be avoided makes it seem possible, much more so than if he cataloged every detail of every conceivable misdeed. When you hear that there are only 10, you think, 10 is not too hard. I can do that. If you practice by controlling the actions that come from all 3 doors, body, speech, and mind, if you keep them pure and do not let them slip to the negative side, if you purify whatever negative actions you have already done, then you will obtain the path that leads to emancipation and enlightenment. Real practitioners are always watching what is going on in their own mind, watching how they react to the events they encounter every minute of the day. They are always protecting themselves from creating non-virtuous karma. Nobody knows what is going on in another person's mind. Think, what am I doing? What am I thinking? How am I dealing with the situation in front of me? To make a long journey through a desolate land, you need to gather the necessary provisions. If you do not take along what you need, you will face difficulties. You could even die from hunger and thirst. In the same way, if those sentient beings who are wandering up and down in cyclic existence, from the lowest hells up to the highest formless world called the peak of existence, are not prepared for this journey, if they have not collected the provisions of good karma, they will meet with the disaster of miserable rebirths. Do not think that small unwholesome actions will do no harm or make no difference. Day by day, hour by hour, such small negative karmas accumulate until you are filled with potential for unpleasant results. The collection of indicative verses is the Tibetan version of the Dhammapada. And it says, do not think the small misdeeds will not follow me later. Just as a large pot is filled by water falling drop by drop, The immature being is completely filled up by misdeeds accumulated a bit at a time. Do not think the small virtues I do will not follow me later. Just as a large pot is filled by water falling drop by drop, the stable practitioner is completely filled up by virtues accumulated a bit at a time. Although you perform negative activities, there are always antidotes available. Countervailing the activities you can engage in on a regular basis that will mitigate the strength of the karma. First of all, you can take the one-day vows, which include the 8 precepts, particularly on certain holy days. You can perform meritorious activities from time to time, such as praising the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Gurus, making prostrations to the 3 jewels, standing up when in the presence of a holy person, feeling an attitude of veneration for holy objects, giving gifts, and making charitable contributions. Another antidote is to feel ashamed and embarrassed about the negative actions you do. Regret can reduce the weight of the karma. The human life we have is so precious. It is as if we had landed on an island filled with precious jewels. We must not waste this opportunity and leave here empty-handed. Even if you cannot achieve the highest enlightenment during this lifetime, you should at least strive to arrive at the time of death with a joyful heart, confident that you have put into practice to the best of your ability the teachings that lead in the direction of true happiness. Then, as you prepare to die, you will think, now there is nothing I have to worry about. I have done all I could do, and now I am well prepared for the future. Your Dharma practice should leave you with that much confidence. You have made your life meaningful. Like the merchant who leaves the land of jewels carrying a rich treasure, that kind of satisfaction is the spiritual wealth that you want to take from this life. We stand in the middle of this land filled with the jewels of the Holy Dharma. But these jewels are not outside somewhere, waiting to be collected. The Holy Dharma has to be within yourself. The causes of misery, the afflictions that obstruct realization of the truth are inside, within each individual. To incorporate the wealth of this life, you must take the Dharma in like a powerful medicine and make it part of yourself. Understand it, practice it, realize it, and those realizations will lead to a powerful faith and confidence that you have used this lifetime to its fullest potential. We have been talking about karma and its results, and we have seen how our future depends entirely on the actions that we take now. If you cannot attain enlightenment in this life, you must at least situate yourself so that you will be able to continue to practice in the future. You want to begin with a strong start and then build upon the foundation of this excellent current rebirth. You want your next life to have even better conditions, with all the inner and outer qualities that will assist you to quickly reach your ultimate goal. There is no contradiction in trying to create the causes to be born with all these excellent qualities in your next life. You are not seeking to be healthy, wealthy, powerful, and have high status merely for your own gratification. The motivation is purely to benefit others by attaining enlightenment yourself as quickly as possible. The point is to build the perfect conditions for practice so that you can reach the highest goal and truly be of benefit to others. That is the pure Mahayana practice, the practice of the Bodhisattva. Okay. So if we could divide into at least a couple of groups so that we'll have enough time for each person to, say something and just lead a discussion on karma. So any part of it, it's a huge topic. So I leave it up to you. And then I'll ring the bell again in about about 5 till 8. So now let's read the foundation of all good qualities. It's in that booklet in the back. And I like to reread this again. Reciting a LamRim prayer every day is a fundamental daily practice that renders each day of your life most meaningful. When you recite a LamRim prayer mindfully from beginning to end, your recitation becomes a direct meditation on the entire path to enlightenment. It leaves imprints or seeds of the realizations of the path on your mental continuum. With each recitation, you draw closer to enlightenment, and therefore closer to enlightening all sentient beings, which is the main goal of your life, the purpose of being alive. This is the unbelievable benefit of doing direct meditation on the LamRim every day of your life. Okay, so the foundation of all good qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa. The foundation of all good qualities is the kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again, please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly, day and night, takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful to abandon even the slightest negativities and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Seeking samsaric pleasures is the door to all suffering. They are uncertain and cannot be relied upon. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate the strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop only bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I have pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of the Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and path, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, so let's say the on the white book, let's say the Shanti Deva's dedication prayer on the pink sheet. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings of body and mind, obtain a notion of happiness and joy by virtue of my merits. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled with a mind weighed down by depression. May the blind see forms and the deaf hear sounds. May those whose bodies are worn with toil be restored on finding repose. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth, those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be timely rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective and wholesome prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick and ill quickly be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, may they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think of benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Thank you. Thank you very much for participating. And next week, the topic is on the Four Noble Truths.